Welcome back to the Social Seance, everybody. My name is Tara, and as always, I am here with my co-host, Jessica.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the first Hot Topics and Monthly Favorites for Season 2. So exciting. We hope you guys have enjoyed the guests we have had so far this month. We had our friend Tammy and our friend Edward October. Lots of fun, lots of good conversations, lots of ghosts, celeb talk, and a lot of horror talk. That's been so much fun. If you haven't checked those out, definitely do. We do have some announcements. We are going to have some changes. And I don't even want to say changes. We're kind of evolving with this show a little bit. First things first, starting in June, we will be bi-weekly for a little bit. For those that may not be Three Spooked Girls listeners, we do everything in-house. And that includes me doing full production and editing for our shows. And currently on our Patreon, we have a bonus series of Life After Lockup, the Gypsy Rose reality show that we love so much. So we have a lot of content going out right now. So we thought just because of our day jobs and our schedules and stuff, we'd switch to bi-weekly for a little bit and just kind of see how having a little bit extra breathing room kind of helps with all of that. Fellow creators tuning in, you already know. So you're like probably nodding your heads. It's just, we're making a shift, and that's not the only shift we're doing. So normally, as you guys know, we are mainly interview based, but again, due to scheduling and stuff like that, we are doing a little bit of a pivot. One of the biggest themes that I noticed when editing these interviews and things like that, and then of course when we were having the conversations, is this talk of nostalgia. I don't know if this is mainly a millennial thing or if this is like an everyone thing, but at least for our generation, there's a lot of comfort with nostalgic things. So we're kind of turning this into a comfort show, a nostalgic show. I'll explain a little more. Here's our game plan. We normally don't share this kind of stuff, but we said, you know what? Fuck it. We're so excited. We're telling everybody. So our game plan is for June, we do have a guest scheduled. And then since we are switching to bi-weekly, the other episode of the month will be another one of these hot topics because holy hell, there's just going to be a lot of like movies and stuff coming out, and I'm so excited to talk about them. But after that, as we get into July, we are going to do a theme for the month. We are going to be talking about slashers, and we have 2 slashers lined up. And they both tie into not only nostalgic type of franchises, but also kind of bleed into the conversation with gateway horror. And if you don't know what gateway horror is, think like Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Easy stuff like that. Even slashers that aren't like so scary, such as like Scream. And I would even say, well, no, Halloween's probably like borderline for that. But, you know, other movies similar to Scream, things like that. So we're really excited about that. But then we will go on season break, of course, in August. And when we come back for spooky season in September, I'm so fucking excited. We are starting a deep dive into Twilight and Midnight Sun. We are tandem reading these. We have already started. So this is going to be like a giant project. We have like a 4-part series in the works, and it is going to be fantastic. So if you were like 18 or young adult in the early 2000s, you're going to fucking love it. You are going to fucking love it so much. I am so excited. How are you feeling about our upcoming content?
I mean, this is like what the dream is. Like when you're doing a podcast, is that one day you're going to be able to talk about your guilty pleasure as podcast episodes. I mean, there are people who literally have started podcasts just to talk about Twilight. So I feel like it's kind of like living, it's like living that little, like that dream. Like Tara and I love Twilight. It's not hidden. Like we both have tattoos that are Twilight themed. I mean, granted, they are friendship tattoos at that. So like that tells you like how committed we are to the Twilight universe. But I'm really excited because it's kind of, you know, if you know me from Three Spook Girls, like I like to dig real deep in things. So, you know, I've bought like the illustrated guide. I have bought, because like if I have questions, I'm going to go find those fucking questions because I'm going to be like, this doesn't make sense. Why are we doing this? And then I want to be able to ask that question and then answer it on the podcast. So yeah, we have some fun stuff coming up and I'm really excited about it. And it opens the door for us to be able to do that kind of content more. But we're starting it with our guilty pleasure. So
yeah, it's going to be great. And if you guys want to follow follow along. I will make sure to post the reading guide that Jessica found us, and you guys can do it with us too. Like, we're literally, it's because, oh my God, fucking Edward just doesn't shut up ever. He
not.
See, okay, I've thought about this, because the Cullens like to do these things that they like and that they're passionate about, but like, they don't want to draw too much attention. So see, here's what Edward would do. He would have a podcast, but he wouldn't ever publish it. He would literally just sit down, record it, edit it, and make it for himself.
Or it would be completely anonymous.
Oh, yes. He would like do a voice changer type of thing. But he would definitely have some kind of podcast, whether that was like a public thing or something he did anonymously. Like, I could totally see that, because the page difference between Midnight Sun and Twilight is insane. And I'm like, I talk about this on Three Spooked Girls, but like, I'm only like 30 or 40 pages into the first part of the Midnight Sun chunk that I need to read. And I am just like, oh my God, this man never shuts up. If you thought Joe from You talked a lot, this man just like puts him to shame completely.
Just so that you know, Twilight is 498 pages. The Book of Twilight. It's a hefty book.
Yeah.
Midnight Sun is 816. It's the same story from different POVs. And you're just like, oh my God. Because I've actually thought about like what I would really love to do in life is like put it, like people like bind books. Yeah. I want to get like several copies of these in like a paperback and like make the tandem books. Oh my God. One big ass book. But that's going to be like 7 inches tall.
And that's like a conservative guess. I feel like it'd be big. It'd be like freaking huge, but oh my God.
I just meant of Midnight Sun and Twilight. If we did all of the books together, and here's the thing.
Oh no, I meant just those two. That's still like a pretty high book. I mean, just I guess put the books on top of each other and you can see. But like, yeah, oh my God. Certified Yapper. I feel like that is his thing. I love it. I'm having a great time. I have not read the original Twilight book since it like came out and got popular. So I would say I read it in like 2008, 2007 maybe. And that was the last time I read it. So this has been a lot of fun. Jess and I are like taking this shit seriously and we're annotating and like all kinds of stuff. We accidentally have matching annotating kits. So I love that.
I do love that.
So it'll be great. So yeah, we're going to be starting that. We're prepping that now. So hopefully you guys will be excited. If you have any Twilight questions or requests that we talk about on certain topics, please let us know. Like Jess said, this kind of opens the door if we want to do other nostalgic book content, and we definitely do. We've definitely talked about possibly doing Hunger Games, doing each book on that. And there's the Divergent series, there's Percy Jackson, like there's all kinds of cool series that we could do. And obviously we still absolutely love TV and movies and stuff. So yeah, it's just going to be a mixed bag of that, at least for now on. And we'll see how that goes and see where it takes us. But yeah, super, super excited about that. So yeah, that's just our little announcement. We're going to be more nostalgic. It's going to be just Jess and I for a bit, and we're going to be bi-weekly for a bit. But I just feel so weird because like we're still getting back into the swing of recording because we were on vacation together, which was so fun. We went on a cruise and then got to spend some time. And we actually we got to our hotel post cruise. This is it's all Netflix's fault that this is happening.
This is literally Netflix's fault.
They put all of the Twilight movies on there and we binged them. And yeah, it just kind of got my wheels turning. And like I said, just trying to find that sweet spot with balancing 2 full shows now. So I'm so excited. I think it's going to be great. And we do cover a lot of like heavy content on Three Spooked Girls. And we're going to be getting ready to cover some kind of darker documentaries that involve like influencers and family influencers. So that's a whole thing in itself. So yeah, I think it's gonna be great. I'm excited. And who the fuck doesn't like to talk about Twilight, at least during spooky season? I feel like most of us do, even if you're not like a diehard like us. Also, by the way, you can't see me in this episode because it's audio, but I'm totally wearing a Twilight sweatshirt that Shannon got me, my wife, for my birthday. And it will make an appearance during that because we talked about we already own merch to begin with, of course. But we're like, we need to have a different Twilight shirt for every part of this series. So stay tuned for that. And that's also to plug our YouTube channel because that's where our videos will be for that. So excited.
Not only did we we got off our cruise, we disembarked at like 9 o'clock. We got to our hotel and then we were tired. So we're like, okay, let's just like go back to sleep for a little bit because you have to like get up and get out and it's a whole thing. So we were like laying in bed and like, I was like, go to one of those like Roku TV. So I just logged into Netflix. I didn't even ask her like, what do you want to watch? She was just like, okay. And I like all of a sudden Twilight was on and she was like, yes, this is happening. And so we did. We watched all the movies. We all 5, and it was great. And then we started talking about it. I bought a Twilight shirt while we were on down there. We'd gone to the movies, and then we went to I think a Five Below, and I found a Twilight shirt, and I was like, yes, please. And then I wore it to breakfast the next day. And the guy was like, oh my God, I love your Twilight shirt. And I was like, yeah, people love Twilight.
Hell yeah. So hopefully y'all are excited for that series, because I mean, either way, we're going to very much enjoy ourselves, but y'all are of the same cloth as us, so I'm sure you will love it too. So good. Okay, so now we are going to shift gears and we're going to talk about some hot topics. We have a lot of stuff that's been happening since the last time we did one of these. And we are going to start with, and I know everyone, for a while, I was fucking sick of this, but this update I have to share. So we all know, and I think we talked about it maybe in a season, I talked about it in a season 1 hot topic, the whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing. But we're not going to talk about Justin and Blake. Yes, we're not going to talk about Justin and Blake though. We're going to talk about this article that recently just came out within this last week from People. It is an exclusive from Taylor's camp. Of course, it says a close source to Taylor, but we all know this is Tree Paine because ain't nothing getting out unless Tree Paine approves it. So Blake Lively has assholed herself too close to the sun, and Taylor Swift has officially put out that they are not friends anymore. And this is a big fucking deal because they have been friends for over a decade. She is the goddaughter to Blake and Ryan's children. The children's names have been used in songs before. They were bestie of the besties. So I got an article for you. So those who listen to our True Crime Headlines episodes on Three Spooch Girls, you know I find these sources and I read them to you and we talk about it. So the headline reads from People magazine: Taylor Swift and Blake Lively's friendship has halted. The singer wants no part of this drama. Exclusive sources. Blake Lively and Taylor Swift's friendship has reached a low point. As Lively's legal battles against Justin Baldoni continue to heat up, multiple sources tell People exclusively that the actress's relationship with Swift is struggling as the singer faces a subpoena by Baldoni's legal team. Because if you guys remember, she tried to act like Taylor was all up in the shit and knew about certain stuff with production and all this other shit, and probably heard the phrase of her being calling her dragons, and Taylor Swift was included in that. The source says their friendship has halted. Taylor wants no part in this drama. And another insider said that Lively and Swift, whose friendship can be documented going back to 2014, like I mentioned, are, quote, indeed taking some space, but adds that they are, quote, not no longer friends. But saying your friendship's halted, it ain't looking too good. And I mean, no one can fucking blame her. And I'm surprised it's taken this long. In late April, a source told People that Taylor was really hurt after being implicated in Lively's legal fight, but that the stars were working to put it all behind them. According to a complaint Baldoni filed in January, Lively referred to the pop star as one of her dragons in an alleged text exchange. Now, however, a source close to the legal battle says the subpoena, which was served on May 8th, has fractured the fragile peace between Lively and Swift, who's the godmother to the actress's 4 kids, with her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Multiple sources also tell People that Lively's friendship with another longtime pal, Gigi Hadid, has cooled down in recent months. Gigi feels horrible that her close friendship is being pulled into the legal drama, a source close to Hadid said. Adds another friend of the model, 30, quote, Gigi is closer to Taylor and has definitely taken her side in this whole drama. Gigi doesn't want to get involved in this whole ordeal, but she is closer to Taylor and has distanced herself from Blake, although she still considers her a friend. Lively sued her It Ends With Us co-star and director in December, alleging sexual harassment and retaliation, which he denies. Baldoni countersued for $400 million, accusing Lively and Reynolds of extortion and defamation, a legal action their lawyers have called vengeful and meritless. Since coming forward with her lawsuit claims, several of Lively's famous friends have spoken out in support of her, including her Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars America Ferrera, Alexis Bledel, and Amber Tamblyn, who put a joint statement on Instagram in December of 2024. Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci showed up for Lively at her movie premiere in April, and Lively was spotted with her former co-star Salma Hayek in May. Swift, however, has been notably silent about Lively's It Ends With Us legal drama. Then, in a May 9th statement slamming the recent subpoena, the singer's rep said that Swift Swift, quote, didn't even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release, end quote, which would make sense because also, guys, she was in the middle of Eras Tour during all of this.
Right.
So obviously she's fucking busy. Like, come on. In a May 14th letter to the judge and subsequent affidavit, which have both since been struck from the docket by the judge who deemed them improper, Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, claims to have told by an anonymous source that Lively, via her lawyer, pressured Swift to issue a statement of support on social media after Lively was not present at the 2025 Super Bowl in February. Lively's lawyer vehemently denies these so-called allegations, calling them cowardly sourced to supposed anonymous sources and completely untethered from reality. After the judge struck the letter and affidavit, a rep for Lively also spoke out saying, quote, it took the court less than 24 hours to see through Mr. Friedman's irrelevant, improper, and inflammatory accusations, strike them, remove them from the court, and warn Mr. Friedman that further misconduct may be met with sanctions. Prior to that, like, she was going, I'm not going to read this part, but like she was going on interviews, and she even went on one recently. It was like a late night show, and she was filmed saying that her, quote, high profile friends were like brought into this situation. And she was like, there was even one quote with her being like, oh yeah, Taylor was with me every step of the way. And it's like, no, she fucking wasn't. Also, this isn't in the article, but there was talks of like personal texts being released and being leaked. And there was this Daily Mail article that had came out basically after Taylor was like, no, I'm not putting out any fucking statement. Like, this is your fucking problem. Wouldn't you know, really private information about Taylor and Travis and like their sex life and their personal life and all of this stuff went out on the Daily Mail from a close source to Taylor. So it's believed, and I believe it at this point, that Blake pretty much did that in retaliation, put out this leak, because whether you're a fan of her, Taylor Swift, or not, it's known that like Taylor does not talk about sex. Taylor does not talk about these things very openly. So not only is this a huge betrayal of her privacy, it's just like, this is supposed to be your very best friend or one of your very best friends. Them leaking your personal shit would definitely be a huge reason to be like, no, we're not gonna be friends now because I can't fucking trust you.
Even if it's like the coincidence of the year that like this shit came out and Blake had nothing to do with it, Taylor still can't trust Blake. And honestly, oh my God, both Blake and Justin just need to sit the fuck down and think about what they're doing. Like, there are worse things in the world that's happening right now. What's really hard for me is that I'm always in the camp, let's believe the woman until she's proven otherwise. Like, let's believe the victim until they are proven otherwise. That's my new statement. And so it's kind of like when, you know, she came out and she said this stuff and I was like, oh, my heart breaks. Cause like, you know, nobody wants to go through that. But then it's like all this kind of evidence came up that it hasn't happened. And this is such like junior high bullshit that it's like, you've now taken someone who, I don't know Taylor personally, but like she gives a lot to charity. Like the things that she does for the world itself seems pretty good. Like just taking that, like she gives to charity, she pays her people well. She like, you know, she makes them work hard, but she pays them really well. Like those truck drivers made like $1 million. And she had like multiple truck drivers. It wasn't just like one dude. It was like, she had like a fleet of people. She pays people well. She like tries to put positivity out into the world. From the beginning of her career, she's really tried to stay out of the drama. Like, and the way she puts that out is like through her music. Like she writes breakup songs about people. And it's kind of like at this point, if you don't want a breakup song written about you, don't date Taylor Swift. Like, cause that's what's going to happen. Like it's kind of like a formula. And a lot of people were like wondering where she's been because like the Eras tour is over. She hasn't made a ton of like appearances with Travis. People are like, are they broken up? Cause he's doing things like he's out in the world living. But like, if she's dealing with this behind closed doors, we're like, someone like she's the godmother of their children. She's written songs like about their kids with their kids' names in it. She's been so wrapped up in this world. And then suddenly to be like, this is how I'm being treated. Like I wouldn't come out in public either. I would be very much like, I'm just going to stay in and rest. It just bothers me because now it's like other people are getting dragged into your bullshit. Like stop, because I don't even like at this point, I just feel like these are two people. I'm just gonna say this. I just feel like this is two people with two big fucking egos that just won't let shit go. and they're dragging it out in public. And the reality is this probably could be sat down and had mediation and handled, but like nobody wants to lose. So they're just going to go at it that way. And I'm just like, fuck. What are you going to do? I literally have stopped, like, anytime I see like Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, I don't even click on the article anymore. I'm like over it. I'm like, I'm so over you two. It's one of the reasons why I haven't watched Another Simple Favor. I don't want to see her face right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't want to look at her face. Like, and she's like the star of the movie. So it's not like I can't not see her. So it's kind of like, that I was really excited to see that because I loved A Simple Favor. I don't know. This whole situation disappointing, and I feel bad for Taylor. This is why this feels junior high to me. It's like when two people get in trouble in junior high, and then they're like Mr. Principal, like Tara was there. She'll tell you, and then you show up and you were like, I wasn't even there. I was over by the monkey bars doing my own thing. That's what this feels like.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous. And it's like, it's not ending anytime soon. It's not going to trial until March of next year. So like, but yeah, it's a lot with that. But there are like, multimillionaires and billionaires. So it's like, this is their reality and what they deem important, quote, quote, but it's not. And it's ridiculous and it's trivial. And they're all like older. So it's like, come the fuck on, be an adult. But, what are you going to do? But also, speaking of Taylor Swift, there's been a bunch of semi-recent, or I would say recent, murders happening within New England and her house in Rhode Island that she actually does have up for sale. Authorities found some human remains near this property. They found what appeared to be a human leg bone. This happened super recently. This was on the 14th. So in our time, just a couple days ago. And when you're hearing this, just a couple weeks ago. But the officers, I kind of read into this more. And obviously they're running it through the data service to see if there's any like Doe cases maybe, or any missing persons report or any hits. But what's interesting is I looked into, because of course, immediately people are like, oh my God, serial killer. But according to authorities, and you can take this however you want, they are saying that these murders are not connected. Yeah, obviously that's weird that it's like all within maybe a recent time frame. I don't know about this human remains one. We obviously can't say because, a bone, it could be from any time, truthfully. But they're also saying there's no commonalities with any of these victims that they have found. So I don't know. I'm not going to play into, oh my God, it is, or 100% say, oh my God, it's not, because history has showed us that authorities have been wrong upon first look sometimes. If you are listening and you're in New England and you're near any of those areas, I hope you are safe, regardless if this is one person or multiple people or, what have you. Please be safe because that is really scary. And it's a lot of bodies that have been found. It's like 13 or 14 at this point, I believe. So that's a lot. That's a lot of victims. So please stay safe. But that was another thing that on top of all this bullshit that she's in the news for too. So it's just like, girl can't catch a break right now.
I know. And how unsettling. Yeah. Like, I don't know when the last time she was at her Rhode Island house. I know she has it on the market. So she might not even have been there for a while, but like, but like, you don't know how long that leg has been there. Cause they say remains. They don't say fresh remains. They don't say, it could just be a bone.
It is the bone. It's just the bone.
So think about you like, oh, I've been in my house and that lake was just like that. That's good. That's unsettling. Poor girl. Yeah. Hoping the rest of 2025 brings some peace for her.
Yeah, for sure. So real quick on Three Spooked Girls, I have done some Diddy coverage. I am not going to go into details really. If you want more information, there are plenty of articles out currently, but they are in week 1 of his trial right now. It is full blown going on. And there's been quite a lot going on. So in the state of New York, they cannot photograph or film or live stream, anything like that. So right now, the only kind of like stuff we have to go off on is our journalists that are in there. And then also these amazing sketch artists. I can't even imagine having to sit here and listen to this and then produce these incredible sketches that they are presenting. But Cassie did testify and she is like largely pregnant right now too. So I just can't even imagine. And I hate to put it this way, but like I'm looking forward to seeing how all of that goes. Not looking forward to obviously hearing about these horrible, awful things. So yeah, they somehow managed to find a jury and they are completely underway. I'm sure I'll have more of an update as this goes on and in next month's Hot Topics, but I just had to mention that if you have missed it, that trial is currently like in full swing. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out.
I have one thing I want to say about the Diddy trial.
Yeah, go for it.
I sent you this video earlier on Instagram. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, but apparently they are paying people to wear free puff shirts outside of like the courthouse. So they're paying people $20 an hour to wear puff shirts. This woman was like walking and she was like, can you believe it? And someone started filming her. And she's talking about the fact that like someone had approached her and was like, we will pay you to wear this. And
I believe
she was like, what? And they're like, yeah. And you can just tell, like, there's one person who's like, he doesn't seem like he's like on the same plane as us right now. Like he's super high.
Okay. Let me mention that for those that don't fucking know, this is screaming Golden State Killer to me. So first of all, he's let himself go gray. One, that is a manipulation tactic because he's trying to make himself look older. And this whole being, whether he's actually high on shit or he's not, acting like that Diddy. Is going to be not Diddy? Who?
No, the one of the guys wearing the free puff shirts looks just fucking stoned. But yes, to your point, I love that article that came out that was like, jail has aged Diddy. And I was like, you know what? Jail has not aged Diddy. Diddy looked that way. He just no. But jail,
his hair dye and stuff too. Yeah.
He doesn't have his hair dye. He doesn't have his moisturizers. He doesn't have all the shit that he normally keeps himself up. He doesn't have access to baby oil. None of that shit. He is not doing well because he does not have the proper accoutrements to make him look like the Diddy we knew before he got arrested. And that brings me some sliver of joy that it's like out there. Because if he came out looking like Diddy, like just like Diddy, I'd be like, oh, what's happening to him? Every time, like anything, Tara knows this, every time something bad happens to Diddy, I was like, ooh, what happened? Because,
right. Because he deserves it for being awful.
The person that I would really like to be added to a witness list, I don't know if they're on a witness list, is Rosie O'Donnell, because that girl has been like talking shit about Diddy since like the 90s. And I'm like, bring on Rosie. Bring on Rosie. She knows the shit. And she's been making fucking jokes about him since the 90s.
Yeah, for sure. Or 50 Cent. Oh my God. That'd be so funny.
God. I saw
he is so unhinged. Follow his Instagram if you guys don't, or go look at it because he posts all the shit talking shit about Diddy. And he posted, I'm not like an AI person or anything, but like he posted this like AI video someone made of like Diddy in prison, and it's got like the baby oil and all these other creepy things. And he's like, who made this? And it was just so fucking funny because I'm like, that's how you know this is a man who has a clean conscience, because he freely for decades has talked shit about Diddy and continues to do so. So I'm like, I don't know why, but it's just like, I love it. And I think it's so fucking funny to me. Like, I don't know. I just find it so entertaining. But yeah. So if you guys aren't keeping up with that, that's what's going on with that.
Speaking of AI, someone did an AI of 50. Like all of the different trial, like jurors are just 50 Cent.
Oh my God.
But they're all in like different colored suits. And I was like, this is amazing. Cause it's like, that's what you need. And the thing is, I love right now that people, because Diddy's behind bars, these like celebrities are coming out and they're like, oh, I'm just going to tell my Diddy story. And I'm trying to
think for them.
I'm trying to think of who his name is. People are going to be like, what? He was in Hustle and Flow. And Diddy like asked him to like coach him in acting. And then he was like, oh, I want to hear you sing. And this guy says they've just been like hanging out and he couldn't figure out why Diddy kept wanting him to be around. And he was like looking at him weird. And he said to his assistant, and he's like, I don't know what's going on. But his assistant leaned in and he goes, I think Diddy wants to fuck you. And he was like, we done hanging out with Diddy. And I was like, these are the stories that like people need to say these, because then it's like, yes, these are the people who need to go take the stand and be like, nothing happened to me, but this is the interaction I had and it was weird. And like, because that's building a history of like a character. So I don't know. I'm not looking forward to hearing details, but I am looking forward to the day that Diddy gets locked away forever.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of trials, my last little note that I have here is about Brian Koberger and the Moscow 4. We covered that a while ago, probably a year or two ago, on Three Spooked Girls. That was the one where the 4 college students were brutally murdered in their home. It's so heartbreaking. First thing, apparently me, a new Dateline special came out on this case recently, and the judge is looking into it because apparently there was someone who's a little sneaky snake and leaked information that was supposed to just be for the trial and just be for the case. So I haven't watched it, but I am like, holy shit. But that judge is like, no, I want to find out who did this because this is fucking serious, because it was stuff from the investigation specifically. And it is just crazy. So this case will be televised. So it'll end up on, you know, probably like the news sources like YouTube's, they usually like stream it, that kind of thing. Technically, it's not supposed to be streamed per se, but like it's going to be available to watch, which I feel like is going to be a huge thing. But the judge was like, yep, we can go ahead and do this. And that trial is going to come up quick. They start trial in August. So it's going to be a hard watch. It's going to be a lot. But I feel like this is another one too that I'm like, I can't wait for the day when he fucking has to be in prison. And he is actually facing the death penalty because he is in Idaho where this crime occurred. And there is talks that the option of death by firing squad is not off the table. The last time that they did that type of execution was in 2012, but due to the nature of these crimes, it's there as an option. So, of course, he is playing, you know, I'm innocent, blah, blah, blah. That's another one I have to read in like small bursts, basically, you know? So it was like, at this point, they were trying to say that there was another suspect. There was somebody else that did this and they had proof. And it's like, okay.
No, I've read like, we know the shit that came out. He did this. Bad man. Just, you shouldn't commit murder at all. But like, if you're gonna be a terrible human and then like, not want repercussions, like why murder someone in a death penalty state? Like
why murder four people? Like what the fuck?
That's true, right? Like I don't understand. Like that's the thing I will never understand is like how someone just goes, oh, okay, I killed you. Like I understand like vehicular manslaughter and things happen and like those things, those aren't your fault. Like, you know, unless you're running someone over, but like, you know, if you're Suge Knighting it, that's different. But just to like kill someone, like I can't even begin to be like,
no,
there's something in our brain. Like I get that there's something in their brain that doesn't stop them from doing it, but like my brain can't process it. Like, right. Nope, not at all. Just stop murdering people. Like it would be really great. Like if we didn't have to ever do true crime stories, unless they were like somebody robbed a train and they stole Labubu's. Like that's all I want to report on. Like I don't want to report on murder.
I finally got one. They've been all over my
FYP. Did you get a Labubu or did you get a Lafufu?
No, I got a real one and he's brown and he's so cute. And I got a little keychain thing and he's on my purse now. I put him on yesterday. So
that's exciting. I want a Labubu. I haven't felt good to go out and find a Labubu.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, maybe I'll order one, but I'm so afraid of ordering it and it be a Lafubu. Like,
I mean,
afraid of it being a fake one.
Because
that's my luck.
You'd get like one of the unhinged ones that look like so scary because some of them look fine. Like they're whatever, you know what I mean? But like some of them you're like, oh, that's not even like a good dupe. That's like someone stepped on the stamp that puts their face on there.
That's what's been so funny for me is that like some of these like Labubus, like or Lafufus, you can tell were supposed to be Labubus. Like this girl, I felt so bad. She opened her Labubu and it's literally the right one, but whoever assembled it, the face was upside down.
Oh
like,
no!
So she has it's a real Labubu except for the fact that her face is upside down. And I was like, oh no, how unfortunate, because nobody gonna believe that's a real Labubu.
No,
if you don't know what Labubus are, like you haven't been on the internet. Like they've taken over so much lately. Labubus were around back in the day.
Really?
I'm pretty,
what?
I'm pretty sure I had a Labubu when I was a kid.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, some more nostalgia. Love that. But your hot topics are definitely nostalgic related, and I'm excited. So I'll let you talk.
They are. If you have followed Paris Hilton from the beginning, we're talking A Simple Life, we're talking about her reality shows. She has had one iconic line that has brought her through like 30 years of like social grace and like public interaction, which is that's hot. She said that for decades now. Come to find out, Paris Hilton did not, I mean, obviously she didn't like originate it, but she's not even the person in her social circle who said it first.
Who said it first?
Nikki Nikki Hilton.
She stole it from her sister.
Guys, that was like grade, like that was her catchphrase. Like Nikki Hilton walked around apparently, and Paris has said this. I wish I could read the article to you, but like it's not opening and I can't see anything.
It's okay. You're good.
It literally was just like, she's like, Nikki used to say it was Nikki's catchphrase, but she's like, I'm sorry, Nikki, because Paris Hilton has trademarked it. It's Paris Hilton's catchphrase. It's her trademark.
Hers now. Yeah, for sure.
Right? So if I'm Nikki Hilton, I'd be like, where the fuck are my royalties, bitch? Like,
maybe they got some behind closed doors. You never know. They might have.
Be good to your sister and definitely do that. Like, give her a cut in this, because like, goddamn.
Right? I never knew that. That's wild.
I know. I'm a little like, I'm not like upset about it, because now I'm like, oh, it doesn't change anything.
No.
You know, at least the way I'm looking at this, at least it's within the family. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like, it's definitely not like, you know, she stole it from some random person and they've like never, because Nikki Hilton ain't hurting for like anything.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. And also, like, it'd be a lot different if she stole it. And it's like she didn't know it was gonna catch on like that either when she did it. So you know what I mean? Like, you can't really anticipate that kind of stuff. So, and
like, she was on a reality show that was so weird, and like I loved it. And it was just because it was like these two girls who like obviously should never be doing the things that they're doing. Right. And then just like the fierceness in which they loved each other. I mean, to kind of bring it back to our earlier topic, Paris and Nicole had a huge falling out, and they became friends again.
Yeah, I love that for them.
And then my next topic I want to talk on, because it finally loaded. If you're a Buffy fan and you have been hearing the rumors, Sarah Michelle Gellar has not weighed in into this point, but she recently, there's an article that came out literally, I believe today. Oh, so it came out yesterday, and she weighed in. She said, so you might have heard some news this week, but I realize you haven't heard from me. 3 years ago, I got a call from my dear friend and mentor, Gail Berman. She told me that she wanted to sit down with Chloe Zoa to hear her talk about a potential Buffy revival. I was blown away that Chloe even knew who I was. As I've always done, I told Gail that I just didn't see a way for the show to exist again. We'd always been aligned on that, but this time I heard something different in her voice. Eventually I agreed to go, mainly just to meet Chloe. And our 20-minute coffee quickly turned into a 4-hour adventure. We laughed, we cried, but we mostly talked about how much the show means to us. While I didn't agree to anything at that meeting, I did shock myself by agreeing to continue the conversation. These conversations did, in fact, continue over the next few years, and eventually we added in the incredible Nora and Lila Zuckerman to our little tribe until ultimately one day we landed on an idea. I have always listened to fans and heard your desire to revisit Buffy and her world, but it was just not something I could do unless I was sure that it was right. This has been a long process and it's not over yet. I promise you, we will only make the show if we know we can do it right. And I tell you, we are on the path there. I feel so lucky to be on this journey with these 4 unbelievably talented women, all of whom love Buffy as much as I do and as much as you do. Thank you to the fans who've never stopped asking for this. This will be for you.
I'm going to make your dreams come true. Danielle Garrett followed us back on Instagram.
Shut the fuck up.
No context. Sorry. Okay. So, okay. We recorded the books and bullshit for Three Spooks Girls like right before this. And one of the segments was like a last now next. And that's one of Jess's like faves at the moment. She's reading a series. And so I was like, let me go follow her on Instagram from the Three Spooks Girls account. And she followed us back. So, okay. Interruption done. I just had to tell you. I knew that was
No, it's so great because I was getting emotional over the Buffy revival because it's like all of us have a very special place for Buffy in our heart because it's like one of the shows. Like I feel like people were either like they watched Charmed and Buffy or they were a Buffy or a Charmed person. And I was more of a Buffy person than I don't know.
She's badass. Yeah.
She's a badass. I loved Angel. Like I still love
we love vampires, obviously.
Yeah. Love vampire. And I love a girl who's just very like, I don't know what to do with that information. Like I'm killing bad vampires, but like I'm also friends with good vampires. Like, I don't know. Like I love that stuff. And I love that Sarah Michelle Gellar was like, I feel like I owe the fans this, that I need to say like, I'm not going to sign off on doing Buffy unless it's right. And we're on our way there because this year they've talked about, it's been like leaked out that there's been discussions about this. And she's just been like, nope, I'm not talking about it. I'm not going to like, I'm not going to bring anything up. But I love that she did this whole thing. She posted a picture of her and Buffy or like with her beeper. And it says, if the apocalypse comes, beep me, which is like funny because like nobody getting beeps anymore. But like, I would be so excited for this. And so, yeah, I really hope that this comes to fruition and that she gets to revisit Buffy. And I hope they do justice for it, because sometimes when they do reboots, I'm a fan of Gilmore Girls and I did not hate A Year in the Life, but there's so many people within the fandom who hated A Year in the Life. And I don't want that for Buffy people to walk away and be like, this just wasn't right.
For sure. I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to that as well.
I got a little excited there about the Danielle Garrett. And
I know. I have to tell you. Normally I don't like tell updates like that on recording, but I was like, I have to.
I'm so excited. It's like one more step in my dream coming true.
Heck yeah. Yeah. So anyone listening, we did mention we are going to still have interviews from time to time, and we would love to branch out to authors. So if you know of any cool indie authors, or you're an indie author or wherever, like, we would love to talk with you. So reach out to us. But that is going to bring us to our last segment of the episode. And this is our monthly favorites. We are recording this a little early, so we're just kind of going off of like the last of our month, basically. So first, we're going to get this out of the way because I feel like we could do a whole episode on this because it was so fucking amazing. My favorite movie that I picked for this month was Sinners. If you have not watched this movie, find a way to watch it. I know some places it's really hard to even still get tickets, but it is worth it. Or if you have to wait till it comes on whatever digital, it's worth the wait. Oh my God. If you don't know about this movie somehow, I won't give any spoilers, but basically it's set in 1932 and it's about these twin brothers who are opening a juke joint, and it's a movie with vampires. That is really all I'm going to say, but there's a lot of really creepy horror elements to it. I liked how they depicted the vampires. There's a lot of deeper themes throughout this with racism, society, grief, and not even just grief of losing a child. One of the main characters, him and his wife, had lost a baby, and this was just such a powerful movie. The music is fucking fantastic.
Oh,
loved it so much.
Good.
I actually, in real time, I went last night with my wife and we had a date night because I really wanted her to see this movie. So we did our thing and then we went and saw Sinners. I can't even tell you the last time. Actually, it's probably Get Smart was the last movie I saw more than once in theaters. I'm not a multiple times in the theaters type of person. Sadly, I don't even go to the theaters as much anymore just because it's fucking expensive. Let's just be fucking honest. But Sinners is worth it. And I really, really hope that during award season, they do get some recognition. I want them to have all the recognition possible, but it's fantastic and I loved it. And the cast did fantastic. Michael B. Jordan plays a set of twins. He does a fucking phenomenal job. I have to say one more thing. If you haven't seen it and you go see it or you watch it at home later, there is 2 credit scenes. There's one in the middle of the credits that's super important. And then there is one post credits that is worth the watch as well. So definitely like wait it out. That is what I will say.
I agree 100%. Yeah. Tara had like read that there were 2 like credit scenes, and so we stayed and watched them. It was like everyone emptied out but like us and like one other group of people, and we were all there and it was great. This movie was so good. Like Tara and I were like trying to figure out what we were going to do because we had like 2 days off our vacation that were just like chill. We had no plans. We just kind of wanted to like not put a lot on our plate, and so we went back to the movies again. We're like, oh, what do we want to see? And I was like, do you want to see Sinners again? And there was like a moment where we kind of had to talk ourselves out of going to see it twice because it's that good. It is beautifully shot. It's cinematically a masterpiece. Like if this movie doesn't win any awards anywhere, I'm going to be so fucking pissed because I'm going to be like the first person to be like, this is some bullshit. This movie was great. One of my favorite memes came from this was someone had posted Michael A. Jordan's introduction to society or whatever, like, and someone was like, Michael B. Jordan has been around forever. And they're like, apparently you can't read because it was Michael A. Jordan, because they were making a point that he's playing 2 people. And so it's Michael A. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious, but so good. Really phenomenal cast in there. Like Tara said, it does have a lot of like undertones in this, and they're not even like necessarily like undertones. This is one of the first times I think I've seen a vampire movie where like halfway through the movie I forgot that there were vampires in it. And then I was like, oh, wait, this is a vampire movie. There's the vampire. I forgot.
Yeah, it makes you think for sure. I still think about that movie, minus having seen it yesterday, but like, I definitely think about the movie all the time. I love it.
I do too. It's so good.
So
like I'm gonna definitely like get it like on some sort of platform as soon as like the day it drops. It's like when Wicked dropped, I was like waking up early and purchasing it. This is my 2025 Wicked. Like this is that movie for me. Like it's so good. And honestly, like I haven't seen a movie come out in so long that every single, like I have not ran into a person that I've talked to about this movie who's seen it and been like, oh, I didn't like it. Every single person is like, this movie is phenomenal. Like phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
definitely my number one. I loved it. Well, while we're still talking about movies, do you want to talk about your faves that you picked?
So I have 2 movies that I picked. The first one I'm going to talk about, it is a Netflix movie. It is called Unfrosted. It's a little older. I had not seen it, but as you guys know, I love my nail tech, Gabby. She's a 3 Spit Girls listener, by the way. So like, I don't know if she listens to this one, but hi, Gabby. Woo. You should probably say hi to her on
the main show.
The one that she listens to. But when I get my nails done, she has a TV. And so I watch it with her. Like we watch movies. Really, she puts a movie on normally that I've seen. And then I do like a running commentary because it's fun. But I hadn't seen this movie. It was directed by Jerry Seinfeld. It came out in 2024. It doesn't have the greatest IMDb rating. It's a 5.5 out of 10, but I don't give a shit. It's so good. It's set in 1963 Michigan. And basically it is the rival between Kellogg's and Post cereal to see who can get Pop-Tarts or like breakfast squares essentially out first. It has literally the most amazing cast in it. When you're just watching it, you're like, oh my God, that's Mikey Day. And like, you'll recognize people from it. And then they'll just have like random people in it. And you're like, oh, I know that person. Or like, oh, I know that person from this thing. So Jerry Seinfeld plays a man by the name of Bob or Robert Cabana. And his rival is Amy Schumer, who plays Marjorie Post. Marjorie Post is a real person, by the way, in history. She's a real woman. Unfortunately, I tell you, in real life, she was the one who founded Mar-a-Lago that our president now owns. But she was a pioneer for feminism, which just kind of was like, oh God. But it's so good. It's just like the one little nugget of like thing I'll tell you is that they bring all these like different, like the hot people in time, like inventors, like Jack LaLanne is there and like this famous ice cream guy and like the guy who invented sea monkeys. And then Chef Boyardee and the guy who makes sea monkeys make this little like ravioli with the sea monkey in it. And it turns into like a real, like it's a real boy. And they become a couple and raise the ravioli together. So it's really great. I highly recommend watching it. It's just so good. Like Peter Dinklage is in it. It's a whole thing. Like the mafia in it is actually like cow people, like dairy people. So it's so funny. Definitely check it out. I give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah. I think it's hilarious. It's just so funny. Like that's the thing that gets me is that like there really isn't a part of it that like there isn't something funny in. And you're just like, wow, way to like level up people. So I was really happy about it. And then my other movie, Tara and I saw together as well. It is called Until Dawn, and it is a horror survival movie. It actually has a better rating than my last one. It is a 6 on IMDb. But the premise of this movie is based off of a video game, which I'm pretty sure my ex-husband played because I remember he had like this really spooky thing. But the thing is like all these characters that are in there, they end up in this like weird little kind of abandoned town, but there's no real town. It's like a visitor center in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And they fall into this like kind of a mad scientist-y guy who's running experiments on people. There's Wendigos in this movie or their version of Wendigos. And I was like, I don't fucking like this shit. But also I did like this movie. I didn't like it as much as Sinners, but like, how can you compare? But they basically have to survive. All of them have to make it to dawn. And the kind of underlying current is that someone always has to die. And at the end of the movie, they figure out how to survive all together. So they do. It was crazy. Like some of the ways because they just kept dying and this hourglass sand clock would restart them. It had some good jump scares. So if you're like looking for a movie to get you a little like, nothing that's going to be like too frightening, but it's enough that you're like, oh my God, like,
right.
Just a little bit. And so it was good. It wasn't terrifying. Like as the resident scaredy cat here, I definitely enjoyed it. And so those were my movies.
Yeah, I would agree with that one too. That was a lot of fun. I liked it. I would definitely rewatch it during like spooky season.
It was one that I wouldn't purchase, but it's one that if I like saw it on a streaming service, I'd watch it.
Totally. And then running over to books. So the book I chose is technically a novella. I read this on the plane on my way home. On my way home, yes. And this is part of one of those, like, you know how Amazon does those series and they do like a bunch of novellas. They'll do like 7 or 8. They do them like during Valentine's Day and stuff like that. So this is part of that. This is part of the Alibis collection. So this is Death Row by Frida McFadden. If you have Amazon Prime, there's Amazon First Reads and it was available as the bonus short read. So I got it for free. But for those that don't, it comes out on June 1st, I believe. Yeah, that's when the series comes out. And I'm actually looking forward to reading the rest because some of the other ones sound really good too. But basically, this one, I won't give the ending away, but basically, this is based on this woman named Talia Kemper, and she's on death row for murdering her husband. And throughout the story, she's obviously on death row and she's like getting closer to her execution date. She's on like her last leg for her final appeal that's been submitted. So she's waiting for her lawyer to answer on if that worked or whatever, because she has an alibi of when her husband died, but without giving details, basically she was obviously convicted for it. And what's interesting with this is during it, every night she's dreaming and she's remembering what happened and all of this stuff. And then it's just like, it's really weird. It's classic Frida. It's super twisty. Then there's like one of those priests, like the Catholic priest guys who do like the last rites and stuff. So there's like this guy and she's like tripping out because he looks like her husband. And she's like, oh my God, did my husband like, is this like a framed me type of thing? You know, blah, blah, blah. Like what the fuck? And she's like freaking out and like all this stuff. And then there's, you know, all these other little like small entities with it. And it's just, it's really interesting to going back and forth. And again, if you like popcorn thrillers and stuff like that, definitely. I will say that the ending was not what I was expecting with this one, but in a good way. Sometimes I do figure out the like final Frida twist, but like this one I did not. And I think, and it's also like, you have to like fully be paying attention when you're reading this too. It's only 74 pages. We have to be fully paying attention because I've seen so many people post being like, what the hell does this ending mean? Did it mean this? Does it mean that? Like what happened with blah, 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 you know, like that kind of thing. So it's one that like also gets you thinking. I liked it a lot. If you need to beef up your reading numbers, definitely read it. It'll be on Kindle Unlimited on the 1st. So yeah. Definitely recommend. It was a good little novella.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I like her.
I do too.
Great reads. You know when sometimes you have an author and you're like, oh, I like this author. Then you read a book and you're like, meh. She's never let me down. I appreciate that about her. The book the series that I'm reading right now, we've got a lot going on. At work, I talked about it on Three Sweet Girls, which is why I was so excited about Danielle Garrett following us, by the way. Been listening to her books. But I've recently decided that I want to try immersion reading. And if you don't know what that is, it is where you listen to the audiobook and follow along. And I've been listening to ACOTAR, but I've been specifically listening to the dramatized versions of ACOTAR. So it's not just the book. It's like a full-on like production. 10 out of 10 recommend this way of reading. It is so immersive and it's like there's music and like there's voice actors. It's so good. And I had tried to read ACOTAR, like sit down to read it twice. And I just couldn't get into it. But those immersion reading, in fact, actually with the first book, I stopped the immersion part because I was so into listening to the book that I was like, I can't not listen to this. I'm trying really, really hard to like read along with the second one, which is huge. These books are all over the place in size.
They thick.
Like, but one of them is super thin. Like one of them is like novella size. And you're like, what's happening? What is this? All the other books, fatty. It is super great. Like, cause it's like, I love a good book that you can like sink your teeth into and really get through a story. Cause like, I really hate when I'm in a book. I don't know how you feel about this, but when you're in a book, you know, it's a series. And then they're like, oh, I'll just like write this important, like this is happening, but I'm going to write it in the next book. Like there's no kind of like wrap up to this story. It just like kind of ends and goes into the next story and you're like, but I want to know now. Like, so I appreciate like a thick book that's going to be like, I'm going to give you the information you need now and then tell you a new story, like a continuation into the next one. So I'm excited because I need to finish the next book, which I can't remember what it is because they're all a court of something. It's the turquoise one. I'm really excited about it. And then I'm going to read Fourth Wing after that the same way because they have dramatized versions of it as well. Also, like, it's now become this new thing where like at the end of the day, like I make sure that I set like at least a half an hour aside before I go to bed to like get into bed. I like get all comfy. I have like a cool beverage, you know, just kind of relax and I listen to the book and it kind of like helps me like get into a better headspace before bed. Because if you know me or, you know, spend a week on vacation with me, Tara knows this, I either fall asleep like nobody's business or I toss and turn for like 2.5 hours and there's no in between. And so this is kind of helping me because it's getting me relaxed before I go to sleep.
It's a form of self-care. I love it. That's great.
I really kind of felt like as a book nerd that I wasn't doing myself the justice by not reading Avatar because like everyone has been like, have you read it yet? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, you need to read it. I was like, okay, but like I just haven't. But now I am. So
there you go. There you go. I'm not like the biggest fantasy person. So like I haven't read that series. I partially read Fourth Wing and then I just got distracted with life. But I do, especially now that you've like checked out the dramatized ones, because when I was listening to Fourth Wing, it was that one. I had like borrowed it from Libby or something. I'm gonna have to get back into it, but I'm deep in the throes of our tandem read for Twilight and Midnight Sun, so I'm gonna let that be that genre for me right now.
I need to just pivot and just focus on that for right now, I think, because I get so into it, and then adding in the fact that I have the illustrated guide, and I'm gonna be like, I also have a notebook that I'm like adding notes to. Like,
wow,
I know,
so you guys. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm so excited about that series. It's gonna be so fun. Well, that is going to go ahead and wrap us up for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any monthly favorites that you would like to share with us, let us know on social media. And I am so excited for what we have to come. We hope you guys are too. We will go ahead and sign off and we will see you next week with another guest. Bye, guys.
Toodles.
Hello, Toxic Avenger fans. You know what that theme song means. It's time for another exclusive audio clip from The Toxic Avenger in theaters August 29th. This time, we bring you the sounds of someone cooking breakfast and listening to the news. Enjoy.
From New Chemistry High School for varsity tournament season. Coach Stanwyck, what can we expect from the Crimson Beaks this year?
New Chem is gonna nuke them.
Wouldn't want to be the Kennedy Cougars this Saturday, huh?
Man, fuck the Cougars!
Oh.
Fuck the Cougars!
Oh my god. So switching gears, we have a special exclusive...
Okay, that's great. Do you want to be part of a winning team? Want to stand up against the forces of evil, like the Kennedy Cougars and beyond? Join the fight at I'mWithToxie.com and then see The Toxic Avenger in theaters on August 29th. That's I'mWithToxie, TOXIE.com.